Bama gang. We always hit the nail on the head. So check this out, my Miami Hurricane fans. Now, as you guys know, or if you didn't know, it's ACC Media Day. This happened almost every season. This year, Mario Cristobal went on up, to the ACC conference meeting, Media Day, whatever you want to call it. Brought three players with him. Matt Lee, the center that transferred in from UCF. Cam Kitchens, of course, your safety All-American. And Tyler Van Dyke, your quarterback, your starter. So, obviously, all three of those guys did small interviews, but my guy here and my head coach, did his press or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to basically react to that. Now, I am watching this off Inside the U, which is, I think it's an extension of 247 Sports. I think maybe most of the content is done by Chris Stockton. Credit due to them. This is a reaction video, so technically, fair use under YouTube guidelines of copyrights and all that. So basically, this is basically for commentary and the intent to react. So with all that being said, before we get into this guy, I know lengthy introduction and everything like that, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you ain't already, and with all that being said, let's get to it.
It's Chris Heidel from Herbiston Radio in Baltimore. Last year, you guys had a tough season, up and down. What do you guys got to do to get better? Because I know a lot of Miami fans see excellence in Miami and they want Miami to be great like years ago. What do you guys got to do to turn that page?
Sure. Well, first of all, good morning. Thank you for having us here. Obviously, a great setup, and appreciate you guys having us. And it's an honor to be here with these three guys because relative to your question, it starts with that right there, elite people that are elite athletes and that hold really, really high standards. So I think whenever you start up at a program again and it has a rebuilding aspect, you have to sometimes go through a season like that and not make any excuses or sugarcoat it, but you go directly at the things that need to be addressed, and it starts with people. People in the locker room, people on the coaching staff, people in the support staff role. And what we feel that we have done is that we have added some elite components in the personnel department, some unique additions, at the line of scrimmage, outside on the perimeter, in the secondary, at linebacker. I felt like our culture, led and driven by our team leaders, has created ownership in our program. In other words, the steps that you cannot skip, those things have been in full force since the end of last season, and it's led to a great off-season, a great signing day, class of best in our school's history, a top 10 portal class. Most importantly, the retainment of our top players and top leaders led to a great spring, and now has had a great summer. So now we're eager to get to camp so we could put all that to good use. And bottom line is just to get to work, not worry about anything or anyone, and just get to work and put to good use this hard work that we have done.
Coach.
All right, so very interesting. The word I want to use here is accountability. In that introduction alone, Mario Cristobal has basically, laid a foundation for you guys. We understand we had a terrible season. This, that, and the third happened. We need these type of players. We need this type of coaching staff. We've been working, and now we're eager to get back to work, basically. Rebuilding, man, we rebuilding. Everybody know this. Now, I'm glad that Coach Cristobal, when it comes to, recruiting players and all that good stuff, he is basically telling all the recruits, telling all the players on the team the truth, being honest with them. Hey, you might not be a fit, you a fit, and, come to Miami for this, that, and the third. If you don't, it's cool. But I like the way you just set the foundation. Let's get straight to it because it's a lengthy video.
Stay on the right side. Gentleman in the red shirt, fourth row.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. Coach Cristobal, you've had as many as 4 players mocked as first-round draft picks in the upcoming draft, and the question...
4 players. He's not. I've obviously watched the interview already. He's not going to say it, but Cam Kitchen, I think it's 1. Leonard Taylor, Javion Cohen, Matt Lee could possibly be one. And yeah, who else could be a first round draft pick? Y'all probably have your own opinions on that. You put it in the comment section. You know what? I might do this video as a premiere. So if it is a premiere, then you can put it in the chat or whatever. But let's continue.
Because Miami has always had great players coming through. How do you materialize that talent into success and wins that are on pace with your and Miami fans' expectations?
Well, absolutely. Well, I think it always starts and ends with personnel. So, we don't pay much attention to the mock draft stuff, but we also at the same time make sure that any type of publicity and brand enhancement that we can have for our players, we emphasize. That's important. So there's no question that we do have some really talented young men that are working really hard, and we're surrounding them with more and more and more. And when Miami looks a certain way, the locker room is littered with that caliber of player and person. And then also littered with a coaching staff that knows how to put personnel to good use, put guys in the right positions to make plays, making sure that we're teaching at a high level, that the onus of learning the system is as much on the player as it is a coach by doing it together. So it's as simple as that. And our track record, we've had great success developing some guys to really high levels to go on and play long careers in the NFL. That's certainly a huge part of our goals, as well as the academic component and graduating with a big-time diploma from Miami.
So obviously, transfer portal guys that you recruit, putting them all together, coaching staff, hopefully it all mesh, hopefully it all, come out to wins, because, that's what it's all about, winning games, competing for championships, all that. Now, I seen a video, it's not related to this one. It was separate, it was a different interview. A lot of you guys know Leonardo Messi, yes. Right now he's with, playing MLS here in Miami, the pink team. I call them the pink team. I'm not really into soccer or, worldwide football, if you want to call it. But I saw Mario used that as a pitching tool. Basically, Messi being in Miami, you see, making his brand a lot bigger. There's opportunities for our players and, anybody that decides to come live in the city of Miami, especially if you have a name for yourself. If you come to Miami and build a name for yourself, there's a whole wide range of NIL opportunities. Just want to throw that in there. Didn't talk about that in here, but just want to throw that in there. Miami is basically an NIL bed. Florida can't say that, up there in Gainesville, nor they're in Tallahassee. If you one of those recruits that NIL really matters, if it came down to it, you'll choose Miami over Florida State and over the Gators. If you're one of those, that's tough.
Coach left side, third row.
Hi, Coach. Mason Horodisky with WHAS in Louisville. It was announced yesterday that you guys and the Cards are going to be playing for the Schnellenberger Trophy going forward. Just want to get your thoughts on that game, what Coach Schnellenberger maybe means to you and what it means playing for that trophy.
I love Coach Schnellenberger.
I'm not sure if you guys seen it, but they got this whole trophy for Louisville and Miami now. Coach Schnellenberger, of course, coached Miami, got us our first national championship. Then he coached at Louisville for about 10 years, 9 to 10 years. So at the end of the day, Miami and Louisville will be playing each other yearly for the next 3 years. Not quite sure if that's going to stay the same, but the model, the way the pods are, basically, Miami's 3 opponents every year is Boston College, Florida State, and Louisville. So Louisville and Miami will play each other, I guess, rivalry during rivalry week, if not right before rivalry week. So they'll play for that trophy. I wish I had a photo of the trophy right now. I'll get that for you guys.
I was recruited by him. My brother was recruited by him. He spent many, many days, nights at the house recruiting us. I'm more fond of the pipe than the boots, quite honestly. But I think It's the right type of honor to honor Coach Schnellenberger, what he did for the University of Miami, what he's done for the University of Louisville, what he represents in terms of football. He made the game better. He was a great man. Often we refer to him a good amount of times, and he is just a significant contributor to the game of football and our community. So we're honored to have the opportunity to honor him.
Coach, to your right side, follow the aisle up the middle. Sir, if you'll please stand and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, this is Joey Palermo, WQOU 90.9 The Light. You mentioned earlier about the new Miami culture in particular. You have a lot of student athletes that have transferred to Miami this year. What have you seen from them, and how have they kind of adapted to this culture from practices and the spring game up to this point?
Sure, no, that's a really good question. I think what makes this roster work well is that the blend. The blend is the right percentages of the different kinds of roster makeup components. By that I mean you have some seasoned veterans that have been here, okay, that have seen a lot of football, played a lot of football. You have an elite freshman class where some guys are going to be able to contribute and be impactful members on the field while others continue to develop. And then you have some seasoned, experienced transfer portal guys that have joined our team. These guys can tell you more than anything. The transitions have been seamless because we've been very open and honest from the beginning that we are building and rebuilding. We didn't sell any lofty expectations or any BS dreams. We were very real about it. And when you do that and you're introduced to the level of work that these guys are introduced to, it works well. The mentality, the fact that every position has legitimate competition, and the level of work ethic that these guys and the guys that have come in have all put together, it's a really good combination. And it's the diversity of the locker room as well. It's almost a reflection of our city, Miami, right? You see every color, ethnicity, you see it all. And you see that on our team in terms of their backgrounds, in terms of the different ways they got to Miami. But with one thing in common, they like to work. And they are driven. They are internally driven and self-motivated. And it's been fun and exciting watching these guys work. I think they understand that the secret is out there in the dirt to get their hands dirty and put in time and put in effort. So I look forward to watching these guys get to work here in fall camp.
Oh man, very interesting. Fall camp coming up soon, obviously. A lot said. Mario went long-winded in that one. But I think right now we're all in wait-and-see mode. I think like the way recruiting is going, Miami has a lot to basically show some of these recruits, these top guys. In order to land them, they literally have to see that, production on the field. Show them that we're improving, show them that we're going in the right direction, and that, they could be basically developed, and they'll see something on the field, one of these guys that they were like, you know what, if I go in there, they'll train me just like this guy, and I go in there and have success and possibly go to the next level. So I'm with you, Mario, man. I just want to see it all put together, all the transfer guys, all the freshmen. I want to know, you guys can let me know in the chat, impact players, transfers that's going to be impact players to you, and freshmen that you think are going to make an impact right away. Let me know.
Coach, left side, fourth row towards the wall.
Hey, Coach. Tony Siracusa from Last Word on Sports. Do you have intentional thoughts on how much you want to rely on the portal versus how much you still want to rely on high school recruiting? And is that different for you at Miami than it was when you were at Oregon?
Very different. Never really used the portal much, if at all, at the previous stop at Oregon. But the rules have changed, and you have to adapt. And there's so many different ways to fill your roster now, right? There are players overseas.
Look, we're not gonna act like we didn't just hear my guy flexed a little bit. Recruiting was so good at Oregon that he didn't have to use the portal. Like, oh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait till that's us. That's us. Recruiting is so good at Miami that we didn't have to go into the transfer portal.
Or some up in Canada. junior college players, high school players, transfers. Sometimes guys in your athletics department that are playing other sports could make the jump and become good football players. So we're always looking for ways to make our roster as good as it can be. And so I hate to put a cap on it, but you know, the importance of high school recruiting is still going to be at the forefront. I mean, player development, and that word development always has to be an important and a sacred word when it comes to football. And I'll tell you why. Football is a developmental sport. Okay, and there's a lot to be said and a lot of value in putting in time and effort to develop into a great person, a great player, an accountable and trustworthy teammate. And we don't want to stray from those principles and values. And at the same time recognize that sometimes you have opportunities, one of them sitting up here on stage today, of a guy that could come in and make a tremendous impact, but he already has those principles and values and has put in that time. So at the end of the day, they all kind of meld together, but just different pathways have been used to get here.
I like what he said right there too. Recruit from the high school level, install basically like a computer. You got to install your program. If you want to, whatever it is that you want your program, your computer to do, you got to install it. So if we could get these guys from a high school level and actually get them to stay and not hit the transfer portal and install all the culture, all the discipline, hard work, all of the good stuff, man, all the good stuff. Just, you know, like the Powerpuff Girl, sugar spice, everything nice. And of course, you know, we Hurricanes, we're a little bit of the A word, you know, try not to curse on YouTube. But that'll be, you know, the swag and all of that. That's Chemical X, man. Put it all together. Poof! We got some mighty Hurricanes. I'm just saying. Championship level competition Canes. Hey, I'm with you, Mario, man. Get them from the high school. And, I mean, Matt Lee, he is a transfer. But if we're going to get transfers, it's got to be depth pieces. It's got to be guys that, you know, come ready, juggernauts, ready to fight for some spots. You know, nothing guaranteed. Nobody. When we get there, we get there, man. Turn the recruiting up so we don't have to go in the portal.
We've got about 6 minutes left with Coach. Coach, to your right side, gentleman with his hand in the air.
Coach Cristobal, Jesse Koger from plantandspear.com. You're bringing a new offensive coordinator this year, and can you just speak on what bringing in Coach Dawson, what his new offense will do to unlock Tyler Van Dyke's skill set that we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think what Shannon Dawson has done in his history really fits Tyler, his skill set, the pieces around them. It gives us the opportunity to enhance the supporting cast, the bolstering of the offensive line with, you know, not only the addition of Matt and Javion and the return of a healthy offensive line in Inez Cooper and a Jalen Rivers, and then, you know, we all know, we've heard about the heralded freshmen that we have and the expectations on them. I think that's a great combination. You know, Shannon Dawson has led some really high-level offenses over the course of his career, really understands the importance of the timing and spacing and precision of the passing game, and has gotten the ball in the hands of his best players. And he's been a hit. You know, he's been a guy that our team instantly recognized that, man, this guy's, not only is he a really good coach, he's a really good person. We can connect here, and probably one of the best things, and I think this is important to say because Miami's always been really, really good, but Miami was filled with people that really want to be at Miami. And Shannon Dawson, he views the Miami job as that job. Lance Skidry views the Miami job as that destination spot. So we're thrilled to have him. They've certainly made a tremendous impact so far, and we look forward to him continuing to evolve his offense and working with our players. And I think I'll let Tyler expand on his feelings on the offense when you guys get him up here.
Stay on.
All right, so obviously, man, why I keep pausing Mario with his eyes closed? But obviously, man, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. They got to install their system, which has been, you know, going pretty well. Players are basically, you know, loving what they're getting, the schemes, the playbooks, and everything. Everybody's been saying it's a easy process, you know. It's common knowledge football. They grew up with this kind of thing. So those guys coming in and having instant success is going to be a great thing for the Miami Hurricanes. Not only is that, great for wins, but it's also for recruiting too. And if you're winning, you're going to get, guys that want to come here because they see, you mean what you say and you're showing improvement. At the end of the day, you got to improve. You got to show improvement. You got to sell something, and then you got to go out and actually show people what you just sold them. I'm thrilled just as much as you guys that we got these new guys. Y'all seen some of the stuff that they did at other schools. Y'all love it, but I want to see it at Miami. So right now, I ain't got no verdict on none of these coordinators. Like I said, they done great things at other places, but they got to show me here at Miami. So hey, I love it. If my coaches, my players feel comfortable and they love this new coaching staff, I'm with it, man. Let's go. Let's see it on the field.
On the right side, returning to the third row.
Hey, Coach. It's Chris Heidel from Herbert in Baltimore. So let's talk about your transfer offensive linemen from Alabama. How great are they in addition to your team?
Yeah, large human beings, right, that move things, a long ways. Javion's got a lot of experience. Certainly has played at a high level, one of the better linemen when he was playing in the SEC. And then a guy like Matt, again, arguably the best, if not one of the best centers in the country, who is looking to enhance his game. I think he's, I hate to put you out there, 20 pounds? How much weight? Something like that. He still fits in the suit, so that's good. But, he's worked really hard along with the rest of the guys to change their bodies and enhance their game. He wanted to be challenged at the highest level. These guys, you can push them and you can work hard because there's several goals that come with this. Your team, being a great teammate, being a great player, having a great team, great offense, dominant offensive line. One day play in the NFL, but not just get to the NFL, stay in the NFL. And you couldn't ask for a better group of transfer portal offensive linemen than what we were able to be blessed to have.
All right, so like I said, video came from inside of you. I think Chris Stockton, like I said, is the one that runs that. But yeah, he says thank you for watching. You're welcome, my guy. All right, so and thank you for thank you for providing the content. Now, we're not gonna watch Tyler Van Dyke interview or Matt Lee. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. But that last statement that Mario said, I'm loving it. Like I said, we got guys now from what he's saying that they want to be disciplined. They want to go the extra mile. They don't just want to be mediocre. These are guys that I've been seeing hitting the jug machine. You know how hard it is to get kids at Miami to hit the jug machine in previous years? I'm seeing videos popping up now. Everybody using the jug machine. Everybody working. Everybody, doing extras. They're going the extra mile, man. Love it. I'm glad we got those guys. Whew, that ain't scared of it. Like, share, subscribe. T2I, I'm out.